Hey, I'm known online and by my friends as Fox Zero. Around the year 2000, I started online gaming, and in 2001, I dived into MMOs. Now, I always thought online gaming was great, but it never had the same feeling as split screen. When I got into voice chat around the time Unreal Tournament 2004 came out, I thought it would be great. I thought it would be just like playing split screen with my buddies. But over the years, I've been pretty disappointed. What I'm going to do for you right now is I'm going to read you an article from my website, fox0.net, from the section Fox Prowse. Yeah, I consistently name everything. Under gaming, titled Headsets, a Disconcerting Topic, and you're going to find out why. A few quick notes. I didn't base this off any factual information or research. It's just based off my experiences and observations with voice chat. And I interchangeably use the word headsets and voice chat. Most people know that already. And I really cut the article down a lot, but it still turned out to be pretty deep because I just let the emotion flow through it. Reviews may differ and most likely will, but hopefully we can see eye to eye with this, and hopefully you'll find it amusing. Headsets and voice communication in games has been around for a while, but it has not become standard in multiplayer games until recently. In fact, it is so standard most console games do not even support text communication anymore. Even though a number of gamers have keyboards for their consoles. I mean, my PS3 takes USB anything. Voice chat makes communicating with teammates much easier and faster. In the past, opening up the chat box could mean death in a first-person shooter. You cannot type and play at the same time since the same keys are required. With voice chat, you can simply press a button on the controller or keyboard and you can talk without interrupting the flow of the game. You can now shout, "There's a sniper on the roof!" and everyone can get to cover instantly and no one has to sacrifice themselves by standing there to type in the location of the sniper, which has happened to me. I don't know about you. It is an invaluable tool in tactical games or any games that require carefully planned teamwork, which is becoming increasingly common. The advantages of voice chat are obvious, and I do not need to go into great detail here, but the negatives are endless. The first issue I have with the headsets themselves. I've used cheap web mics in the past and they sounded just fine for PC. However, there's just tons of complete USB headsets for sale these days that give the player a lot of options. Too many, in fact. You can spend $60 on a headset and it will sound like crap. Yet you can spend $15 on something that sounds great. The more expensive you go, the more reliable headsets tend to be. But that's not always true. This makes the purchase difficult for the player, and most of the time I run into people with poor quality headphones. Voice chat is useless if you cannot understand one another. I constantly run into people with headsets that are too loud, too quiet, too fuzzy, or just plain incomprehensible for some technical reason. It's frustrating because you don't know if they're coordinating an attack or just whining, and I'll get to those people in a second. It's perfectly understandable why they have a bad mic. The market is just flooded with these things, and most of them are Chinese-made pieces of crap. Now, when I first started using a mic years ago in Unreal Tournament 2004, it was great. I had friendly, good-natured conversations with people while I blasted them away, and we did some minor coordination. It's a Twitch shooter, so not much strategy is required. Even when music was blasted through the mic, it was usually pretty good. I remember one guy was promoting his band, so he played a fast-paced punk song through the mic that was all about playing shooter games online. It sounded awesome, and the intensity fit the nature of the game. Of course, people started yelling, and he turned it off. he was not a jerk or anything, and it did amuse us. Maybe I just got lucky and always played with a great group of guys. But I conclude this game was not exactly mainstream. There was no excessive amount of cursive, whining, or insults. Now, I have no problem with cursing, but when you say fuck before every noun and verb in your speech, you don't come off as a likable person. I do not understand why most people own a headset other than for the sake of having one. Most people I ran into on Resistance, Killzone, or Call of Duty seem to have nothing useful to say. In fact, I do not have a headset for my PS3. In fact, there are far less people with headsets on consoles than on PC. This is because in the past, headsets simply used 1/8 inch jacks. USB headsets were slightly more expensive and they did the same damn thing. Why pay more? So once headsets became standard on consoles, they only supported USB and Bluetooth. I sure as hell did not go out and buy a new one. On less mainstream games, I rarely run into people with mics. On Call of Duty 5 and especially Killzone 2, roughly 30 to 40% of the people I have played with have mics. Sadly, I do not come across a lot of people with mics on Resistance 2. And mics are more crucial for Resistance 2 because the co-op missions were designed with communication in mind. If the Spec Ops soldiers do not give you ammo, you're screwed. Which is usually what the noobs do not know how to do, and no one ever tells them how. So far, the other games I play, I do not see mics as essential for them. Mics are useful, but I rarely run into people who use them for tactical purposes. I love having a good conversation, which I did a lot on Unreal Tournament 2004, but when I'm in the middle of an intense firefight in Killzone 2, I'm not going to be talking about cars and the like. Most of the comments yelled over the voice chat is useless. It is almost always complaining or cursing. Not all the time. A lot of people are friendly, just not enough. A lot of people are just plain mean. Example, what happens a lot in Killzone is when two people are trying to cross a catwalk, there's like a thin platform with rails on the side, they usually become stuck for a few seconds until they can wedge themselves free. And this is common in a lot of shooters. This is irritating and some people take it out on the person they were stuck with. On a recent game, one kid yelled, "Move, motherfucker, move." You're in his way too. Why do you need to call him a motherfucker? And of course the guy continued to be immature and a jerk throughout the game. Not everyone acts like a jerk. What I really want is for people just to yell tactical things like, "Look out, a sniper! I need covering fire! Take out the machine gunner! Put a sniper up there! I'm pinned!" Yeah, I play mostly shooters, but I'd imagine for sports games you already know what you'd say.